wonder where Annie went after the third time they picked her up. No one here has seen her since. I've got an apartment full of her stuff. Seems like yesterday since we saw her face and the dimples popping out of her smile. Anyone else here miss her laugh? Why didn't she be gone all this while? It's a late night, it's an early in the morning thing. Don't know if you're awake or else you're asleep. By the time the sun catches you alone in your room, you're all tangled up in all those bad dreams. I saw Annie, she looked so good riding downtown on the train. She was the loudest person in the neighborhood, but I wouldn't give to hear her holler again. Tell me when you're ready, I'll start the car and help you get into your coat. We can take the long way, it ain't that far, we'll be home before you know it. It's a late night, it's an early in the morning thing. You don't know if you're awake or else you're asleep. By the time the sun catches you alone in your room, you're all tangled up in all those bad dreams. Annie dear, can you hear my voice? Do you recognize my face? We've been sitting here for so many years, you wouldn't believe how much I've aged.
All right, this is Charlie Parr playing live today here on WNCW. It's Portland Avenue, the name of the song.
Portland Avenue is what that's called.
Leads off the new record.
Yeah, it's first one.
It's a great song. I wonder, is it like a person you know? Is it real, or you like these characters you come up with? Or
well, everything starts out maybe as someone specific, and then as the process goes along, it just becomes a conglomeration of a bunch of different people and ideas. When I first started writing that, it was more about kind of Alzheimer's, dementia, people that disappear but are still there.
Right.
My mother's going through that right now, so this is on my mind. And so that's where I think that's where it's coming from. But then as I go along the process of writing it, suddenly it's a neighborhood where someone goes away and doesn't come back, or maybe people are wondering about other people or concerned, or it gets more. For me, it starts kind of specific and just grows into generality, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a metaphor there, like people who, what did you say, are present but disappear?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, you could spin that in a lot of ways as you look around. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, tell us about the new record, Little Sun. This time you worked with a producer, I know.
I did. I was really excited to get to work with Tucker Martine, and I drove out to Portland, Oregon, and I rented an apartment for a couple weeks and walked to the studio, and we had a great time. I've never gotten to do that before. I've recorded a lot of records, but they're like shows. Show up at a studio, play the songs, hit play the songs, and then leave before the clock gets too crazy on me. And it's been uncomfortable. I don't like studios. I like performing. I like audiences. I like venues. I like driving. This is the life I want to lead. So, but I wanted to do something different because I felt like I was just going to keep making the same thing over and over again and never really challenge myself to do anything else. So working with Tucker was a really, really big deal for me. He's a great producer. He became a good friend. I trust him, and that's the thing. You know, songs are like, I don't want to use the word kids because they're not kids, but you know, songs, your creations, your little things that you have, you know, they're maybe they take on an importance that's kind of not real in a way because they're so close, you know, and you feel nervous about like turning them over
Just
to
giving
somebody.
them to somebody, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But Tucker, I trusted him, and all the people that he got involved in making the record, I trusted all of them, and they were great. They were so kind, and they were generous, and they were gentle with my little songs, and so it felt really good to me.
I always think of you and your records as this very raw, very real, very in the moment kind of roots thing. So I wonder, like when you went into the studio, were you thinking about that or worried about losing that, or?
We didn't lose it at all, I don't think, because what we did was we actually recorded the record live as a trio. Me and Victor, the bass player, and Andy, the drummer. We recorded all the basic stuff as a trio. It felt like a rock band to me. I was having a great time.
I heard you played electric guitar.
I got to play a Telecaster. I was thrilled. And then we went back over and started like taking stuff apart and understanding what we wanted to do with everything, re-recording things, overdubbing things, and we had a great time. I got to play with a lot of studio equipment that I, don't usually get allowed to touch, and I got to play harmonica on the record, which I don't play live. So I had a really fun time.
So far we've been playing the song Boombox, which I guess was the first single off of it, and certainly looking forward to hearing more of that record. But
thanks.
Yeah, again, congratulations on that. That album is called Little Sun. The official drop is
tomorrow,
the
22nd.
There you go.
Of March.
So if you head up to Asheville tonight to the Eulogy in Asheville, you'll be the eve of the official release, I guess, for that show tonight.
I got a box of records in my car.
All right, that's Eulogy in Asheville tonight at what, 7?
I think so. Yeah,
something like that. Cool.
You're asking the wrong guy.
I know. Someone don't ask the guy who's playing.